Hello, it's Asteroid after a little break. um, I know I said in the last video I wanted to be consistent, and that didn't happen because I got a cold for a week or two, and then I had a lot of school stuff to catch up on, and it's November, which means over here the sun goes down like after lunch, so I have to do this in the morning. But anyway, so enough with all those excuses. The topic of this video will be cosplay pet peeves, because I think they're fun to talk about, and there are a lot of them that I've seen from me and my cosplay friends, and my also like some non-cosplay friends, and from other cosplayers and stuff. So I thought I would just make a video about it because I want to talk about it. I asked a while ago for people on my Instagram story to send me their cosplay pet peeves, whether they are cosplayers or friends of cosplayers or just con-goers in general. And I got a few responses, and then I have a few of my own and a few that I've seen or heard others talk about. So I thought I would just bring them up and talk about it. And maybe if you're a cosplayer you can relate to some of these, and maybe if you're not a cosplayer you can learn some of the things that like irk cosplayers, and I don't know what you're gonna do with the information, but you'll know something. These range from like your own cosplay to your cosplay or others' cosplays, how they look to how people act at conventions and like photos and stuff, and yeah. So let's get into it. One thing that I definitely hate is has to do with like wigs and wig caps, stuff like that. And apparently I'm not the only one, because I actually got a few friends who also mentioned these things. So the first one is the first one is your wig cap showing like under your wig. Like you can, well, I'm not wearing a wig, I died. But like when you can see it like in the back here, or like under here you can see like the wig cap. That is so frustrating. I have that with a few of my wigs, especially with Tanjiro, because it has like no bangs and the sides are just like sideburns. I have to like glue them down here just so they don't like open up and you show my whole wig cap, and it's so frustrating. And then also like when you see it on others, I personally, I mean, if they're having fun and they don't care about it, I don't care about it. But I do like, I feel like I want to tell them, but I also don't want to be a bother. The second one is like kind of related to this, but it's like hair sticking out of your wig cap is, I think that's my biggest cosplay pet peeve. I hate it so much. I can spend like 5 whole minutes just making sure that my wig cap is on right, so I have no hair sticking out. I will like poke and try and shove it back in there, and then I'll take it off and I'll put it back on, and then it won't go right, and then I'll take it off again and I'll put it back on a few times. Yeah, I hate it. Then there's like wearing your cosplay wrong. And what I mean by that, I got this from a friend, but I definitely agree with it. Like where parts of your cosplay is like twisted, or they're like upside down, or they're like on weird, so they're not how they're supposed to be. I find that frustrating because usually you don't even notice. Like you don't notice, and then you see the pictures afterwards and you're like, God, I wish someone had told me. And long wigs getting tangled. Long wigs are so pretty. They are so pretty, but they are also the bane of my cosplay existence. I hate having to brush wigs constantly, just all the time. I wore my Korekio wig to school because Halloween, and because I go to a theater school, so and I had my friend brush my wigs. I only had 2 classes that day. I was in school for about 3 or 4 hours, and she brushed my wig like 4 times because it got tangled, which I should probably try and fix that some way. But then there's like wearing a really cool costume but your bra strap is like showing. That's I know that people who design anime characters or game characters aren't thinking about bra straps, obviously, because it's not a fun thing to think about. But when you're trying to cosplay it and you need to wear a bra and it's just like, maybe it's off the shoulder, or it's just like tiny straps, or anything where your bra straps just show, and it's so annoying because in pictures maybe you try and like fold them down, or like, I don't know, I find it very frustrating. Then there are 2 that are like kind of similar, not really, but kind of. You know how there are like millions of anime characters who just have the like 3-part bangs where it's like middle part, side part, like this. A lot of people, including me, I've done it. I have a terrible time cutting wigs, where you just like don't cut the middle part, so it's hanging like all the way down here, and it's like covering your entire face, and it's going in your nose and in your mouth, and you can't see. But like, it's so... I don't want to tell people how to cosplay, because there's no like right or wrong way to do it, in my opinion. But it's like, I would advise anyone to cut the bangs of their wig so you can actually see, and so it looks better. And also, on that same kind of like note, when you have a character who has bangs like this, but you don't want to cut it, or you're too scared to cut the wig maybe, so you just like side swept instead. It's like, if you want a really quick way to make your costumes look, to make your cosplay look better, in my opinion, or a way to just make it look like more professional without really having to do anything, cut the bangs. Honestly, if you have a good looking wig, it doesn't even have to be like professional, super good, but if it's just like cut right, it'll look 100 times better, in my opinion. Then there's ironing your costumes, or rather, not ironing your costumes. It's frustrating because I buy my cosplay, so I understand being a little nervous to iron them, because the material is most of the time really bad. But it just like, it completely makes it look like you're wearing like plastic, and you are wearing plastic, but also like you don't want it to look like it. That's how I feel anyway. I have a friend who wore an Attack on Titan jacket where it was just like, you could see the creases here and like down here and over here and all the arms, and you could see all the creases where it was folded up when it was being shipped. Yeah. I heard from someone who's a better cosplayer than me that you can steam it instead if you're nervous about ironing it, so there you go, there's a tip. Then I have like just a very small amount of just 2 pet peeves that are related to like buying or like creating or just like getting your cosplay together. And one is like sizes online don't make sense. They don't. Like, I'm sorry, they don't make sense ever. I've never seen a size chart that makes sense to me. And then also kind of related to this is just like the kind of elitism that happens with people who are buying versus like making their own. And I think it's awesome if you make your own cosplays. I will always be so impressed with people who do that. I don't make my own cosplay, so obviously I think it's stupid if you make fun of people for that. But I just like what's the point, you know? It's just, we're all nerds, okay? It's just a hobby where we're having fun. So what's the point in making fun of someone for, I don't know, like taking a shortcut or like a cheaper way, you know? I think these last few are in a category I would say kind of like related to conventions or like meeting people, whether it's like offline in real life or online. Meeting people, you might have some of these things happen. One that I got from a very close friend of mine is like a lot of cosplayers not respecting personal space, which yeah, that is a problem. We've all heard that the whole like cosplay is not consent and all that, but like even if you think you're just being nice and you're giving a hug and stuff, like you gotta ask. you gotta ask, and you gotta maybe take a step back and not be in someone's face the first time you meet them, you know? And then like touching in photos. What I mean is like someone asks you to take a photo. I feel like a lot of people can probably relate to this one. Luckily it has not happened to me, but I know of people. So you want to take a picture with someone, they stand next to you, and then they put their arm around you or something without like saying anything. Like they have their arm around you and they hold you like really close. That is very uncomfortable. And I'm sure for some people it's fine to do that, but don't assume that it is. Assume that it's not and ask first. Taking pictures at all without asking is bad. Don't do that. Don't do that. Especially not if someone is like sitting down and eating. That is the most unflattering pictures. Unless it's like you're at a photo shoot where you want to have like candid taking pictures while eating photos. But like, then it's planned, okay? And then they've asked. I have a friend of mine who said this. I know that it annoys the hell out of her. I'm pretty sure this is what it was anyway. Like someone asks to take a picture of me, the cosplayer, and then when they're done they go, "You're welcome," instead of "thank you." Like, "You're welcome for me taking a picture of you." When because I feel like it's more like it's the cosplayers kind of doing a favor for you if you're the one taking the picture, you know what I mean? Like, obviously I'm grateful you thought my cosplay was good enough to warrant a picture, but I still like took time out of my convention schedule or whatever schedule to like pose and put all my bags down and tell my friends that we have to wait for me, and like posing and taking the picture and letting you take one or two or with me or whatever. I feel like I understand this pet peeve, where it's coming from. And then there's one that's like, I know everyone hates. I know everyone hates this because it's just so like there's no point to it. It's just like unwarranted. No one asked. No one wants to hear this. And it's like, this character isn't fat or black or whatever someone is saying. Like, what is the point? Why did you, if you don't like a cosplay because you're a bigot and you feel like they have to be exactly canon, then leave. Like, go. No, seriously, I don't think if you comment stuff like that, I don't think you are welcome in the cosplay community. I will take this moment to speak for everyone in the cosplay community. You are not welcome if you comment these things on people's posts. Thank you. And then the last one that I have to end on a slightly lighter note is when people have like huge props or pieces of their costume and they're walking around a convention or somewhere and they're just not paying attention and like kind of like smacking people in the face, and like it's just like, it's kind of rude. I think I've done it, not smacked people, but I've had like a prop with me. I've had a sword, and I would like cling to it like this when I was walking because I did not want to smack people and I was so embarrassed to have this big prop. And they look really cool and it's awesome for pictures, but please just think an extra step ahead and pay attention. And also, for people who don't have the prop, pay attention to people who have props so you don't break their props. Because it goes both ways, in my opinion. If you step on someone's prop because you weren't paying attention, that's also kind of on you. Unless it was like just laying on the floor in the middle of a hallway. Okay, that was all I had for this video. Yay. I hope it was kind of fun. I think it's fun. I don't know. If you have any other cosplay pet peeves, I'd love to hear them, so you can put them in the comments if you'd like. Or just like the video if you thought, I don't know. Thank you so much for watching at all. I'm very grateful. And go follow me on my Instagram and stuff. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.